Hello, we are live. It is Topical Tuesday, June 26th, I think it is, 2018. Steve Sipress here on a Topical Tuesday. Only got up to about 111 degrees here today. And the last couple of times that I recorded my daily video outside in the 110 plus degree weather, the phone overheated. So Rick is here. Good seeing you, Rick. So I'm now holding the phone up with my hand that is filled with ice cubes. So I have ice on the back of the phone, which is melting, and my hand is extremely wet as the sun is setting behind me over the mountains, and I will attempt to make it to the end of the video without the phone overheating. So let's get right to it. And Topical Tuesday, what is the big topic? I mean, it's all you see if you dare turn on the news, which I highly recommend you not do. But when you do, you see all this nonsense back and forth stuff about immigration. And it's all about, you know, people flooding over the border, are the good guys, the bad guys. You're separating the kids from the parents because they're coming in illegally, or they want to come legally. They want to have a refugee, whatever it is. Okay, so there seems to be basically two extreme sides to the immigration debate. Either you want open borders, let anybody in. You know, you're tired, you're poor, your Statue of Liberty, like, we'll take anybody, because that's just who we are, and that's the right thing to do. And then there's the hardline, extreme vetting. We want merit-based immigration. We only want the best coming in, and we want to make sure that everybody loves America, and so we have zero tolerance and nothing but the best. And those seem to be the two extremes. Now, if you've been following the news, or even if you hadn't, if you know anything about Donald Trump, master marketer, understatement, how do you think he became president? But he built a brand, the Trump name, and he built it to stand for luxury. That's what the Trump brand always stood for. Whether it's Trump office buildings or Trump residential buildings, Trump golf resorts, Trump apartments, whatever it was, these are luxury buildings. So Trump made his billions of dollars by buying low and then renovating an old rundown building into a sparkling, state-of-the-art, imported marble and waterfalls and the very best of everything, and, you know, made it a Trump building. And so you can naturally realize, even if you aren't following the news, which side of this debate Donald Trump falls on. He wants the extreme vetting. He wants only the best. So now, here's the thing. Am I really talking about migrants and immigrants and people coming over the border to the U.S.? No, of course not. I am always talking about business. So even though it's Topical Tuesday, I'm pulling that out of the news. But I'm talking about you, viewer, listener, watcher, and Jeremy Danley is here, Richard's here, good seeing you. I'm talking about your business. What's your attitude of the immigration policy for your business? People coming in, prospects, customers coming into your business. Are you totally not discriminating, open borders? I just want anybody at all that'll come in. Give us your tired, you're poor, you're crappy, you're broke, you're complaining, crappy customers. Give me all of them, and then they'll all refer and do chain migration into my business, because they'll all refer plenty of other crappy, broke, low-level, complaining, crappy customers that'll want so much care and so much free health care and free welfare and food stamps and free education, free housing. We'll have to give them and give them and give them, and they still will not really ever be a fantastic client. They're never going to, some of them are, but for the most part, they're not going to refer you to fantastic clients. Or are we going to take the side of the luxury brand builder, Donald Trump, who wants extreme vetting? In your business, are you going to be extremely careful who you accept as a customer or client? Now, when you're first starting this out, and I work with lots of clients that, of course, come to me because they've been the one come all, and I don't know where my next customer's coming from, and I'll take anybody, and they want to graduate to the, man, I want to work with the best, who don't complain, who pay high fees, who refer to other people who stay a long time and refer and pay high fees and renew and come back, and they're a joy to work with, and they don't complain. I want more of those customers. Steve, help me get them. But in the beginning, it's kind of a hybrid. You still need to accept clients. You got to have cash flow. But at the same time, you don't want to spend any time or any money or any effort or any thought attracting those people. They can come if they want until you get to a point where you have enough great customers that you just say absolutely no to the open borders, come one, come all, like you see Trump wants to do. He says, look, the U.S. is already the best country in the world. So 120 years ago, when my grandparents come over, or whatever, they were poor, broke, refugees fleeing the pogroms, the government going around in Russia and Eastern Europe and Poland and just killing Jews. And they escaped to the U.S. and they worked basically 6 days a week, 12, 14 hours a day in a sweatshop. They barely knew how to read or write English for a long time, and they never learned to drive, and they stayed only in Brooklyn, New York, their whole life, till they were very late in life. My dad moved them into a senior housing up in the Bronx, but they stayed right there, never drove, never traveled, never went anywhere, just worked. And so they would not qualify under Donald Trump's extreme vetting, we only want the best. However, look what happened. Second generation was my dad. Third generation was me. So my dad, very successful business person, became a multimillionaire, and then you have me and the rippling effect of not only my success, but all the people I've helped be successful, and that all came from that original immigration of those, what does Trump call them? I don't know, the worst of the worst, not the extreme vet. If there was extreme vetting, like my grandparents never would have made it, and I wouldn't be recording this video right here. I'd be recording it from, who knows where, some tent in a ghetto somewhere in Eastern Europe. But I digress. So what about your business? Are you accepting people and hoping that by the third generation and 120 years later or 50 years later, suddenly you'll have great clients, or you're going to be real careful about you accepting your business? Okay, so, and by the way, you can be successful either way. Okay, so obviously, like I just mentioned, the U.S. is very successful. Accepting the one come all, Statue of Liberty, tired and poor, will take them all, like my grandparents and so many other people's grandparents and parents coming over at the turn of the last century. And through the Industrial Revolution and the need for all the migration from all over the world, and it built the U.S. into the #1 country in the world. So that can happen. That's the McDonald's, the Walmart, Coca-Cola, the cheap, high-volume, low-quality product. That is, we'll take anybody, we'll sell to anybody. But then there are the luxury brands, which is what Donald Trump wants the U.S. to be. Wants to be very discerning and say, you're not going to see Donald Trump say, I own the Trump restaurant in the lobby of the Trump hotel as McDonald's. Yeah, he likes to eat there, but he's not going to have that inside his Trump hotels and his Trump country clubs and his Trump towers. He's going to have a fine dining restaurant with the finest chef and the finest foods and the finest tablecloths and the finest tables and chairs and flooring and artwork on the walls, and that's just what he does. Or he's famous for getting replicas of fine artwork. Looks the same and costs a heck of a lot less. And I can tell stories about that because Trump is Trump. But that's the difference in your business. You decide. You can be successful either way. Walmart, Burger King, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, certainly successful companies. On the other hand, there is Trump and high-end, low-volume, high-ticket, high-quality customers, Rolls-Royce as opposed to Chevy. Okay, you decide. Do you want to be Rolls-Royce? Do you want to be Chevy? Both been around for a long, long time. Both very successful, both multi-billion-dollar companies. You decide which one you want. No right or wrong answer, just you decide. Now, if you ever want my help, there is a right or wrong answer, because I'm not into all the strategies of all the low-ticket, high-volume, low-quality stuff. I'm not your guy. But if you want to build your business into a Rolls-Royce business and bring in the Rolls-Royce clients, that's what I do. You ought to stick around and keep watching my videos. Speaking of which, and I see, nope, we don't have any questions, comments, concerns. We do. We have one here from Jeremy who says, taking any and all clients or gigs, Jeremy being a professional comedian, so he says gigs, put me severely behind the 8 ball. Caused a huge amount of frustration and getting ripped off or canceled on last minute. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and whether that's, you're talking about gigs, going into empty venues where really there's nobody there, and so then the owner's going to cancel after you drove or you flew 8 hours or you whatever to get to that gig, and you got the hotel room and Of course, you didn't take another gig that you could have gotten instead, and now you're just out of luck, out of town, in the middle of nowhere with nothing because they suck. It was a low-quality place, and you got canceled or you didn't get paid or whatever. And the same thing happens now that Jeremy is not just a comedian. Now he does marketing for those venues, because that's what he did. He put a marketing system into place so that that wouldn't happen. He would always be able to fill the venue when he came in. Now he helps fill the venue no matter who comes in. So that's what he does. And the same thing, you don't want to just take any old venue, any old business owner to be your client, Jeremy. The same thing will happen. You'll get ripped off, they'll cancel on you, they won't do anything, no matter how much you do for them, they still have to pull the trigger. They'll still have to, actually run the ad, or actually greet people when they come into their establishment, and actually, serve them, and actually, run the business. So no matter how much you coach them and do things for them, they can still screw it up if you accept the wrong clients. Now, Jeremy says, I screen all gigs and clients. I have to click to see more. As much as possible. Wasn't a lot more, was it? I screen all gigs and clients as much as possible. Way to go. And I'll help you do it a lot more, because no matter how much you think is possible, more is possible. And not only can you screen them more, but you can screen them through automation and technology, where you don't have to do all the grunt work to do that. They can have to jump through lots of hoops and basically show you and prove to you that they're worthy of becoming your client or becoming a venue that you will go perform at, without you having to lift a finger. Before you ever talk to them, they can have to go through a whole screening process, and I'll help you set that whole thing up. And Jeremy says they must have a good reputation. Yeah, that's just the starting point. There's a whole lot of criteria for who you're going to work with. If you're going to graduate from the McDonald's model of business, Walmart, again, very successful businesses, to the Rolls-Royce, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, there's lots of multi-billion-dollar companies that are very discerning and only accept the very best clients. And if you're Donald Trump, you somehow think that the United States is going to be that way. And who knows, at least for another couple of years, however he's in office, or 5 years, or whatever he's got left, maybe it will be. My guess is that's not really happening in the U.S. There's too many forces against it, but not really talking about that. Talking about in your business. So you decide. You can do it either way. Which do you want to do? Extreme betting or open borders? It's up to you. Jeremy says, thanks for all your help and wisdom, Steve. My pleasure. Rick says, thanks. My pleasure. That'll do it for Topical Tuesday. Thanks for all the likes and all the feedback and all the comments and participation. I hope you'll be back again tomorrow on Wisdom Wednesday. Well, I will share a piece of wisdom and teach another business lesson tomorrow. And I will again bring out some ice cubes, because we can see right now that, look at that, I only got 2 tiny little pieces left out of the several ice cubes I had, and they're dripping all over my hand, but my phone did not overheat throughout the entire video, even though it was still well over 100 degrees out here as the sun is setting. So there goes the ice. There goes the video. Be back tomorrow on Wisdom Wednesday. Thanks for being here today. Over and out. Bye-bye.